She thought she was just checking into a hotel, nothing more. A tired traveler, a paying guest expecting only respect and rest. But the moment she walked through those doors, everything shifted. Whispers turned into laughter, and the room she was given felt more like punishment than hospitality. They mocked her, dismissed her, and believed they knew exactly who she was. But what they didn't realize was that this woman carried a truth powerful enough to turn their judgment upside down. The question is, what happens when prejudice collides with reality? It was supposed to be a simple trip. After weeks of long hours and endless deadlines, Maya decided she deserved a break. A quiet weekend away, nothing fancy, just rest, peace, and a chance to breathe. She booked a modest room at a well-known hotel, the kind of place where comfort was promised, if not luxury. Maya wasn't someone who demanded much. She worked hard, paid her bills on time, and carried herself with quiet confidence. Friends admired her resilience, her ability to rise above the challenges life threw her way. To her, this getaway was a small reward, a reminder that she, too, deserved kindness. But as she stepped through the gleaming lobby, she noticed the difference in how others were greeted. Smiles for them, stiff glances for her. While families checked in with ease and laughter, her presence seemed to draw whispers. Still, she brushed it off. She had learned to. After all, how many times had she been told she didn't belong, even in spaces she had every right to enter? She didn't know it yet, but the room they were about, to hand her, and the way they treated her, would turn a simple weekend trip into a moment she would never forget. The key card slipped into Maya's hand with a half-smile from the receptionist, a smile that didn't reach the eyes. "Room 114, the woman said flatly, before turning her attention to the next guest in line. No welcome, no warmth, just dismissal. Maya tried to brush it off. She was tired, and all she wanted was to drop her bags and rest, but the moment she opened the door, her stomach dropped. The room reeked of dampness. The sheets were crumpled as if untouched since the last guest, and a single buzzing light flickered above her bed. It was nothing like the photos she'd seen online. For a second, she wondered if there had been a mistake. She returned to the front desk, holding her key card tightly in her hand. "I'm sorry, there must be an error. The room isn't clean," she said, her voice calm but firm. The manager, a tall man with a stiff suit and an even stiffer attitude, didn't even look up. "That's the room you paid for," he muttered. Behind him, two employees exchanged a knowing glance and a quiet laugh. Maya's chest tightened. She had traveled enough to know the difference between an honest mistake and intentional disregard. But what struck her wasn't just the room, it was the way they looked at her. As if she should be grateful for scraps. As if she didn't deserve more. She tried again, asking if she could upgrade, pay more for a better room. The man leaned forward, his smirk widening. "People like you should be glad we even have space," he whispered, just loud enough for her to hear. The words hit her like a slap. "People like you." Heat rose in her chest, but she kept her voice steady. "I'd like to speak with someone else," she said. But the laughter that erupted from the employees echoed through the lobby like a cruel chorus. Guests waiting in line turned their heads, some curious, others embarrassed by the scene, but no one stepped forward. No one said a word. Maya stood frozen, every muscle in her body tense. Should she stay quiet and endure the humiliation, or push back and risk making it worse? The weight of every past moment of discrimination pressed down on her shoulders. Every sideways glance. Every door closed every time she'd been told, silently or directly, that she didn't belong. And just when it seemed the night would end with her alone in that filthy room, something shifted. Another guest watching from a distance recognized her. Eyes widened. Whispers spread. A phone was raised, a picture taken, a name spoken aloud. The staff who had mocked her stiffened, their laughter cut short. Their smirks faltered, confusion flickering in their eyes. Because in their rush to judge, they had failed to realize who she truly was. And in that moment, standing in the middle of the lobby, surrounded by stares, Maya understood something chilling. The truth about who she was would soon turn their arrogance into regret. But how? The lobby fell silent. All eyes turned toward Maya as whispers spread like wildfire. Someone had spoken her name, loud enough for everyone to hear. A name that carried weight. A name the staff clearly hadn't expected to be attached to the woman they had just mocked and humiliated. The manager's smirk collapsed. His face drained of color, but he tried to recover, fumbling over excuses. "Ma'am, perhaps there's been a misunderstanding," he stammered, suddenly polite. But Maya stood frozen, her heart pounding. This wasn't about a dirty room anymore. It wasn't about one man's cruelty. It was about every moment of being underestimated, belittled, and dismissed because of the color of her skin. The employees shifted uncomfortably, their laughter now a shadow hanging in the air. Guests began recording, phones raised like mirrors reflecting the ugliness of the moment. The same lobby that had echoed with mockery just minutes ago now pulsed with tension, shame, and the weight of truth. Maya could feel every gaze pressing into her. Part of her wanted to walk away, to let silence be her answer. But another part, the part carved from years of endurance and quiet strength, refused to shrink. Her voice cut through the lobby, steady and unshakable. "You looked at me and all you saw was less. But now the whole world is watching, and they'll see exactly who you are." The manager swallowed hard, his authority dissolving in front of strangers. The power dynamic had flipped. For once, it wasn't Maya left questioning her worth. It was them. In that charged moment, the air thick with tension, the question lingered unspoken. Would this humiliation finally force them to reckon with the prejudice that shaped their every decision? Or would they try once again to bury the truth? The manager's apologies tumbled out, forced, hollow, desperate to undo what could not be erased. A better room was suddenly available, complimentary upgrades, offers of service, but none of it mattered, because the damage had already been done. Maya accepted the key, not because she wanted their gifts, but because she refused to let them push her out. To walk away would have been easier, but to stand her ground was a quiet act of defiance. She carried herself through those halls with the same dignity they tried to strip from her, a living reminder that their prejudice could not define her worth. That night, alone in the suite they had mocked her out of, she thought about how familiar this feeling was. How many times had she and others endured this same humiliation in silence? How many times had racism been brushed off as a misunderstanding, as if pain could be erased with excuses? Maya's story is not just her own. It's the story of countless others who walk into rooms they've earned only to be told in words or in whispers that they don't belong. It's the quiet cruelty of lowered expectations, the smirk that says, less, the denial of dignity dressed as customer service. And yet, in exposing it, there is power. Because every phone raised that night, every witness who saw the truth, turned one woman's humiliation into undeniable proof of a larger reality. The question is not whether racism still exists. It's how long we will keep allowing it to thrive in plain sight. How many more moments like this will be tolerated before we decide that enough truly means enough? Because in the end, silence is not neutrality, it's permission.